Hello and welcome to the 93rd gathering of the Adventure Party on this, the 26th of August, 2018. I am your party leader, Brad Ludwig. We ask that you peace tie your swords, holster your blasters, and be ready to eat, drink, and be merry before joining us at the meeting table. Or you know what?
Huzzah.
In this particular case, you can eat, drink, and be merry while we're at the meeting table and gaming. How cool is that? And you'll find out what we're talking about in just a sec here. This meeting of the Adventure Party is brought to you by our Patreon partners, and we will talk a little bit more about how you too can become a partner with Adventure Party and Galactic Network shows that we are all in a big group with. The Podcast of Terror, Alien Invasion, so on and so forth. We got some shows. Boy, it's been a while since we've done one of these. I've forgotten the flow. It's terrible. We had to do a little bit of a hiatus. One, I was in the process of getting married, and there was a lot of projects to get done to make that all happen. And I know you had some shows that you needed to go to this summer, as it is convention season.
Mm-hmm.
And you moved the store.
Yep.
And I can only imagine how time-consuming and probably emotionally devastating that could have been, just being so tired, having to work and then move, and that had to be a lot to deal with.
It was not something I want to do again anytime soon.
God willing, you won't, sir. God willing, you won't. And we're going to be talking about something else that your company that you work for, yes, is a part of.
Yeah.
And that is the Oak and Shield, which is what we're going to be talking about tonight. And yeah, and the full disclosure: one, nobody's paying for this. Two, we just thought it was cool, and I thought I'm taking this one on here. I thought it would be cool to talk about Oak and Shield, what it's all about, and how cool it is to have a pub where you can go eat and play games. And that's really what it's all about. And how cool that's just cool to me. So I really wanted to talk about that and find out more. And the next time I'm in town, I'm hitting the pub. Absolutely. So yeah, we're going to talk about the Oak and Shield. No, just I said that kind of fast. Oak and Shield in Milwaukee.
No
Wisconsin.
Trademark violations.
Yeah, you have to be really careful about that. So as we've done in the past, and it's been a little bit, like I said, Glenn, our second in command here, is going to do a game review. And then we are going to kind of get into talking about the Oak and Shield and what that's all about. So without further ado, what do you have to speak about tonight?
Trash pandas. Pretty much anyone, if you've lived anywhere in pretty much the entire U.S. and large parts of Europe. I don't know the full range of what raccoons are, but I know that anyone in the U.S. pretty much at some point or another, you must have seen a raccoon, unless you live like in the heart of a huge city. And even then, maybe because they're pretty much everywhere that there are humans and trash cans. And in Trash Pandas, you play as Ruckus Raccoons, and you are tipping over trash cans trying to find food and shiny objects to collect. This is a game from Game Right Games. It's 2 to 4 players, plays in about 15 to 20 minutes, retails for $14. And what you're doing in this game is it's a push your luck game, kind of, because you have a deck of cards, And the cards are going to be things you're trying to collect, like nanners and fish and stuff like that. Different things that a raccoon might find in a trash can and try to take away. The way you get cards, though, is you actually start by rolling dice. And the dice are going to give you different actions. And when I say it's push your luck, well, actually, it's a die. You're going to roll this die. And when you roll the die, there are action tokens. And when you look at the die, it'll match an action token. You can take that token. At any point, you can stop rolling, and then you take the actions for the tokens that you received. However, you can keep rolling the dice, and as long as you don't roll a token you already have, you keep getting more action tokens. Now, it's a 6-sided die, so the most you're going to get is those 6 actions, which actually would then translate into 5, because one of them is simply the recycle token, which just lets you take any one of the other actions tokens out of the supply. What the action tokens do is they're going to let you do things like draw cards off the deck. They're going to let you stash cards, and stashing cards is how you score points, and that's how points is how you win the game. Most points wins. Stashing means you're going to put cards basically like face down into your stash, and cards are going to score based on who has the most of each different type. But then cards can also be played out of your hand to do different things. Because like I said, if you roll a dice and you roll a symbol you already have, well, you can cash in, I'm trying to remember now, I believe it's nanners. You can cash in nanners, and you can ignore the last roll you had the dice and stop rolling. There's another one that lets you re-roll a die, and there's ones that let you steal cards from other players or steal cards from players' stashes and stuff like that. So it's a fun, quick game, but still has, I like the push your luck aspect. I mean, yes, it's right there. There's a fair amount of luck in this game because it comes down to die rolls. But, it's all about balancing that risk versus reward. Do I want to keep rolling? Sometimes you're going to push it because you know that you've got that re-roll or that, that nanners to stop rolling if you screw up. But, it's a pretty satisfying feeling when you get to take all 5 actions in a turn. And, you can just roll a lot of potential points for the end of the game. So. And you get to play as trash pandas. I mean, who doesn't like raccoons aside from people that have dealt with them and have had to clean up messes from raccoons who have tipped over trash cans? Yeah, that really sucks. But they're still awesome because they sit by the river and they wash their hands. That's awesome. That looks cool. And they look like bandits.
They do. And one of my favorite YouTube videos is of a raccoon coming up to a cat's food dish, which is outside, grabs some of the cat food and then runs away on his back 2 legs like a child that's got something really cool and doesn't want their parents to take it from him. I'm explaining it and it does it no justice, but it's hilarious. Nonetheless, for those of you who might be listening to an audio version of this, audio only version of this, I'm on Board Game Geek right now, and we're taking a look at some of these cards that are available to you. You mentioned nanners and fish a few times here, but you've got, and you mentioned shiny. You've got Yum Yum, which is a candy bar, a chocolate bar to be more specific. You got Blammo, which is a kind of a crushed soda can, which must have some soda left in it.
Oh, yeah, Blammo's the reroll.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Then there's Pie, which is disposed of pizza, slice of pizza. And then you've got, I'm going to assume that they're adversaries, which are Doggo and Kitty.
So, well, to a degree. So Doggo lets you block a steal attempt that someone else is putting on you. So you can block their steal attempt. Kitty is that's a steal card.
Okay.
If I remember right. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's also a kind of a defense card. So instead of blocking a steal attempt, if someone tries to steal from you, the Kitty lets you steal from them instead.
Oh, so, okay. So
yeah, because shiny lets you steal cards from players.
Gotcha.
You distract them with the shiny.
Absolutely. This looks like a fun game.
It is, and we've been selling the pants off of it. if raccoons wore pants.
If raccoons wore pants.
But what they do, at home, I don't know.
Fair enough.
I'll have to ask David Attenborough.
Live and let live, I say. No, this is really cool. And $14, you said.
Yeah.
Is suggested retail price. You said it's very, very popular at your store.
Oh yeah. We've been selling a ton of it, and it's just, it's I like having these little games that I can play with pretty much anyone. So whether they're a gamer or not, whether they're an adult or they're a kid, I can bust this out and we can, have 15 minutes to an hour of fun depending on how you want to play it.
Sure.
It's a good thing to have in the collection because not every person I know is going to want to sit down and play Arkham Horror, which is a sad state of the world, but that's just how the world is. So
yeah, there's yeah. Arkham Horror is an investment of time, as I recall.
Yes, although they're changing that a bit with the new edition coming out.
Oh, really?
3rd edition Arkham Horror is coming out later this year.
Interesting.
Yep. So they're fixing some of the stuff like the bogged down playtime of wow, we've been playing this game for 4 hours when it shouldn't take that long. So they're streamlining things a bit, which is good.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you very much for reviewing the game Trash Pandas from Gamewright. Like you said, 2 to 4 players. Takes about 15 minutes to play, and it's around $14. And quite honestly, I wouldn't mind having this game in my library. I love fast play games that are a little bit different and fun. So, speaking of a little bit different and fun, we mention them quite often because they sponsor the show, and we have a coupon code with them, and that's Die Hard Dice. Now, they've got some new items in their store, and I am going to turn on the screen share here for our YouTube visitors. Here we go. They've got some new dice. The Nether Golem RPG set, which is a kind of a mattish dark purple and black set, which looks pretty cool, and kind of reminds me of some of the... Actually looks more like I think it's the obsidian rock in Minecraft. Kind of that type of style and color. Also, they've got some more of their shiny metal dice sets.
Just brought some of these into my store.
Yeah, I've been seeing... where was I? I was at... River City Hobbies in La Crosse, and they had some Die Hard Dice stuff there. So he's getting into the stores, which is really cool. I know that was something that he wanted to do, and it's nice to see that he's made it. I
can barely keep them on the shelves.
Well, quite honestly, for the price of, for these dice... And if you are checking us out on YouTube, you can see some of these different sets: silver emerald gemstone, silver tourmaline, silver citrine.
Yeah.
Just beautiful dice sets. And basically the ones that I just spoke of are metal dice, and they've got a different colored enamel. Probably baked in enamel inside there, and the kind of the chrome, or depending on the style of dice you get, those numbers kind of pop through that enamel. They're just absolutely drop dead gorgeous.
The burnt rainbow have been
just
insanely popular. We used to carry we still carry a different brand that I'm not going to name. They were a Scorched Rainbow.
Yep, Scorched Rainbow.
And actually, the raw steel ones right next to them have also been the raw steel with dark red. I mean, we sold like 10 of those already. And so we carry this other brand of metal dice, they're fine metal dice, But we've had them so in the last year, we've sold a fair number of sets of that from that company. I have already outsold that company a year's worth in 7 weeks.
Oh, jeez.
So,
yeah, and the big thing is it's affordable.
yeah,
A lot of those metal dice sets that you see out there, which look very pretty, I don't want to call any companies out, but it costs twice as much as what Die Hard Dice charges for their beautiful dice.
and they have for their dice sets, their metal dice sets, the best packaging for a dice set ever. They all come in a metal tin with a foam insert, so all the dice have their own little spot to fit. It looks great on the shelf. It's a great selling point. The fact you have this nice contained tin to carry your metal dice around. It's awesome. And their dice trays as well. Their collapsible dice trays are just awesome. The fact that I can bring a dice tray and it takes up no more space than a magazine in my bag because I can fold it flat.
In my dice box that Rob Benton and I created a bunch of these dice boxes with a lid that slides out, and inside it's got a leather insert so you can roll metal dice or whatever and not damage the box. I have a collapsible dice a dice rolling container in case I'm in a space where I don't have room for that box to roll the dice in. And it's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. And the corners snap together and boom, you've got a place to safely roll your dice and not have them hit somebody in the face if you get a little crazy with your roll, or they don't, fall off the table and you got to, get on the floor on your hands and knees and try to find the dice. This does away with it. Anyways, long story short, if you go to dieharddice.com, which we both recommend that you do, you can use the coupon code Adventure Party, all one word, Adventure Party, and you can get 10% off of your order, your entire order, not just the dice set, the whole order. So there you go, dieharddice.com. All right. We are going to now jump into our Kickstarter spotlight. When last we spoke, eons ago, we spoke of Nord Games, their spectacular settlements, which their goal was $10,000. They hit $102,670. So I'm pretty sure it did a-okay.
Just
yeah, and it basically it allows you, or it gives you better ways to describe a settlement or create a settlement in like a fantasy type setting. And when you do a homebrew adventure, and it doesn't really matter what fantasy rule set you're using, whether it's Fate Core or it's old school D&D or Pathfinder, whatever. Sometimes you don't think about the little things like, are there trading posts? How is the city set up? Is it a capital? What type of buildings are there? Is it a keep? All the little things that inevitably, when you run a game, there's going to be that one person that says, I want to check out X, and you hadn't really thought about X. And then you kind of flat-footed have to try to figure out X. Now, understand, you're not going to create something and think about, every little detail of a city, a settlement, or whatever. But this will definitely give you some things to think about. So if somebody does ask you a weird question, maybe you've already thought of it and you can put something together on the fly. because you've already have some details. It's not such a stretch to pull something together. And that's what this is about. So that was what we spoke of last time. What do you have for us this time, Glenn?
I got nothing.
Okay.
Oh no, I got
moving on. Oh,
I got The Ancient World 2nd Edition. So this is a redo of a game from 2014 by Ryan Laukat. I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong, but this is a guy who's done. He did Islebound, and he did Above and Below, and some other great games. And one of the things I've always loved about his stuff is I love his art style. He's the game designer, and he's also the artist. And this is an updated version of The Ancient World, where they've done new cover art, they've updated the components, they've revised and added in new Titans, which I'll explain what that means in a minute, and they've expanded the gameplay. Basically, in the original The Ancient World, each player, you are competing to become like the best city-state. And you do this by managing your citizens and your soldiers and your money and all that stuff. And you go out and you assign your citizens to do work. You try to defeat the Titans and stuff like that. And you're just trying to build up your city better than everyone else. And it's just, I mean, this was the game that first introduced me to Ryan's work. And then I got Above and Below, which is now one of my favorite games. It's in a lot of ways it's very reminiscent of Tales of the Arabian Nights. You've got a big storybook that goes along with it, and I love his art style. So with this one, they're looking for, or I should say he, because it's a he, is looking for $25,000. They have 11 days ago. They're currently at $130,847. So this is happening. This is from I can't say they because this is I always forget, it's Red Raven or Raven Rook Games. Can't remember for sure. Red Raven Games is what it is.
Yep.
Yeah. And I just lost the page. There we go. So the game is happening. And it just keeps changing every time I look at it. The amount. So for $15, if you already have the Ancient World first edition, $15 you can just get an upgrade pack that'll upgrade everything to the second edition rules, including the new player boards, complete set of new cards, a new rule book, the Ambrosia tokens. But it does not come with the metal coins, but you can add those on as a pledge add-on. However, for $50, you can buy the second edition of the game, and that comes with all the stretch goals and a set of 64 metal coins. There have been a few games that have been doing this now, where they've been doing their games and that have coins, and rather than doing the old traditional punch out these cardboard tokens, they're giving you metal coins, which is just a nice little add-on for a game. I actually love the sound of coins clicking together.
Yeah.
And I take all these coins out of these games and I use them for other stuff as well. It's just a great thing when you're doing like a D&D game and you can, hire the adventurers to do some work, and you can toss that actual bag of coins on the table to give that nice clinky clunk when it hits the table. It's awesome. So yeah, just really looking forward to seeing a new edition of this, seeing what has all changed, and awesome. And he's got a good pedigree. I mean, I can't think of any of his games that I don't like. Above and Below, I love. Islebound, I like a lot. Near and Far is great. So,
excellent. Yeah.
Do it. Live it. I only wish that he had a retailer level.
Oh, yeah. That's always a little sad. I feel like somebody's kind of missed the boat there when they don't have a retailer. I mean, I get it, but
I don't.
Well, yes, from your standpoint,
I do, and I don't.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you pledge $50, you can get a copy of this. Or if you already have the first edition, $15. Boom. And its estimated delivery date is June of 2019. So you only have 10 months to wait. But looking at this art and everything else, it's going to be well worth it. So that is an excellent recommendation from Kickstarter. And thank you for bringing it to our attention.
Absolutely.
So we kind of teased at the beginning of the show Oakenshield Gaming Pub, which is based in Milwaukee. And again, full disclosure, it is owned by the company that you work for. But this is not a paid promotion. I just wanted to talk about. I cannot think of offhand, and I'm sure that they're out there, but I can't think of any in the state of Wisconsin that I've heard of that is designed to be a game space and a food space that is a pub / restaurant. I mean, they have looking at, you've got a bartender. Yeah. I saw people drinking Moscow Mules in a picture. So, I mean, full menu, full bar, and room for people to play games of all types.
Yeah.
And I am going to do a screen share here so our YouTube folk can see what I'm talking about here. These people are playing Codenames. Oh, Codenames Pictures, no less.
Yeah.
That's one I have yet to try. I've heard that's kind of tough.
A little bit.
So I guess that's a little bit of, a little bit of an intro of what we're talking about here. It's a game space, which is also a full-on restaurant and bar. Since you're a part of the inner circle, as it were, how did this come to be? As a game store, I'm just going to preface this real quick.
Yeah.
As a game store, you deal with a certain formula for overhead, for, you get a game at this much, you charge this much for it. Now, having a restaurant and a bar, that equation is entirely different. How does a company that does gaming, that sells games, get into doing a gaming pub?
So, it's something that we've been looking to get into for a while. It's a big thing with running a game store these days is, everyone on Earth, for the most part, everyone, when I say everyone on Earth, everyone who would be buying the types of games we sell, products we sell, everyone knows you can buy this stuff cheaper online. It's a fact of life. Almost everything is cheaper online. So we need to add something else. We need to add that, and we add that community, and we add, obviously we also add our knowledge of product and stuff like that, that not everyone goes out and researches stuff on Board Game Geek and watches the YouTube reviews and the playthroughs and goes to Gen Con. A lot of people don't do that. So they rely on people like me to give them experience, to share my knowledge of these games with them. And that's one of the things we do is we share that, but we like building community. That's what a big thing is we want to grow and build our community. And that's a great way to do it is, that's the whole idea of the third space, is that you have your home, you have your job, and there's that third space. And for a lot of people, the bar is that third space. And for some people, the gaming store is your third space. A lot of people have that third space, that other place you go outside of work and home that you feel comfortable in.
Sure.
And that you go to regularly. And combining the game store and a pub and restaurant sounded like a no-brainer. And now I do have some retail, some restaurant experience. I've worked in food service. I've been a cook's assistant. I've been a dishwasher. I've been a waiter. I've been a delivery driver. You know, I've been a baker. I've done a lot of this stuff, but I've never managed a restaurant or a bar. I mean, I've been a bartender, but I've never done the booze ordering. I've never managed the inventory for that, or having to do payroll for employees that get tips. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. Thankfully, we didn't need to for the most part, because Milwaukee had a great location called the 42 Lounge, which was a geek-centric and gaming bar. It was just a bar by itself.
Okay.
And they did mostly it was console gaming and stuff like that. They have the big monitors, and you can play your console games on the monitors. And they had some board gaming and card gaming and role playing games, but they were also in a really small spot, run by who's now she runs Open Shield. She's involved with the Board Game Barrister, and she's running Open Shield is Lynn, who ran 42 Lounge. And we kind of merged together, and we're like, we can do this thing because we're going to take all of our game and our retail knowledge, and she's going to take all of her bar and restaurant knowledge, and we're going to do this thing together. And it's been a blast so far. I mean, more for me because I don't have to do a lot of the work that they're doing, that my boss and Lynn are doing. I don't have to do a lot of that, so I get to do. I mean, I do some stuff to help out what I can. I run events there and stuff like that. This last Saturday, which was just yesterday, was amazing. We had the Rickmobile from Rick and Morty was at the bar, and I spent like 5 hours downstairs running Rick and Morty themed games. We had Rick and Morty playing on all the TVs. We had a bunch of the staff was in costumes. One of the waitresses was dressed up as a Meeseeks, and there's people there dressed up as Rick, and was it Manicorn? I think is one of the characters. Yeah. So I mean, it's a lot of fun because we have this community, which 42 Lounge already had a community that they had grown over the last several years, and then we have our community that we've added these together, and it's taken off a lot. It helps, and I mean, I'm biased here, but it helps that the food is also really good. I have not had anything on the menu yet that I don't like. And I love the names of a lot of stuff. So we don't have mac and cheese. We have mac and cheese. So you can have the Marauder mac. You can have the Atlas mac. We have the Sorcerer burger, the Barbarian burger, the Bard burger. If you want just a plain burger, that's the familiar. We've got the You Don't Make Friends with Salad, the Ron Swanson meat salad. We've got fried pork strips.
Like the Carbs Against Humanity.
Carbs Against Humanity. Morninghainen's cheese curds, which are freaking amazing. There's tons of themed drinks. We just did for yesterday. The one thing I actually got to eat off the special menu was eye holes, which was deep fried mac and cheese with jalapeno.
Nice.
So yeah, and we have great beer selection. Lynn and her staff has done a great job curating a pretty broad beer selection. Now, a lot of it's not on tap, a lot of it's bottles, because we have a lot of from all breweries all over the country and all over the world. The menu changes fairly regularly as far as the alcohol goes. We have a very extensive mead menu, and we're doing a special. We have a special event coming up in 2 weeks for Grand Madam, which is a aged barley wine from one of the local breweries in town, and that's a lot of things are. In that case, that one is like the Rickmobile was come in costume. This is a feel free to come in Victorian costuming. Because it's barley wine, and Victorian fits that theme. So it seems like such a great pairing to put these two things together. But the thing is, it's not easy. Like right now, we don't sell games out of the bar.
Yeah.
And the way you run a bar is, especially when it comes to your register system and your computer system, it's set up way different than a regular retail store. So we're still trying to integrate that type of thing into it. We're starting to run regularly scheduled events now. I mean, aside from they have their regular, they do like they have like a karaoke, they have their quiz cube where we'll do like, you know, it's your bar trivia, but it's more in line with, you know, what you'd find in a geek and gamer bar. So we've done Harry Potter, and we've got coming up, we've got Firefly, and we have actually, I think this coming week is The Office. We have chess every Monday night. We've got now have Magic every Sunday. We're going to do Magic more often as well. I currently am running, I just started running what I call my RPG roulette on Tuesday nights there, where I run a different RPG every week. I just wrapped up Call of Cthulhu with a bunch of people, where I did kill 4 of them out of the 6, which I feel less bad about with it being a one-shot, because it's like, well, you're going to see the kids again anyways. We have the Puzzle Pint, which is once a month, that is just coming together and doing like crosswords and logic puzzles and all these types of manipulative. It's all these different, just, you know, brain teaser type stuff. So there's lots of cool events that we do through there as well.
Nice. I'm looking at the cocktail menu. You got the 221B Baker Street, the Pan Galactic Gargle Blaster, which I absolutely, yes.
And those of you who want that, it is. I just hit you in the face with a lemon wrapped around a brick. No, I don't.
I like the Stasis Leak, the Bender Bending Rodriguez, the Weeping Angel. Oh man, there's a lot of. If you get a chance, take a look at oakandshieldpub.com, and you can check out. They've got a Facebook page for you to check out, which I am now liking as there we go.
We actually I love the fact that we have Tetris tots.
Yes, I saw a picture of that.
Tetris pieces. Yeah.
Yes.
And so many things that I know there's been some debate over some of the names of things, because I mean, some of these are old school nerd, and we have breakfast tacos instead of tacos. I also love our Damn It Jim, I'm a Doctor Not a Taco. Those are just phenomenal. They're pulled pork, and we have a bacon jam. You should put that on everything because it's amazing. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun so far. I know that Lynn and her staff and that my boss and our regional manager have done just a ton of work putting this together. And I mean, we've done one of the cool things that Lynn used to always do with the 42 Lounge was twice a year in the summer they would do a Bristol Renaissance Fair trip. And those of you who are not from the area, Bristol Renaissance Fair in Wisconsin is pretty damn big. It's well regarded as one of the better, if not one of the best, Ren fairs in the country. And they would do these trips, and we did that this year again. I went on one of them, took the bus down, where we take the bus down and we drink the whole way down.
Oh Jesus!
And yeah, that's what, you know. Well, this, because now we have the restaurant, we offered a little brunch to get you going, so you at least have that food base before you sit in the bus for an hour and a half drinking. Drinking a Pabst and I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 ciders, or whatever I had.
Oh, Jesus wept.
Yeah. And then I ended up leaving early because I got, surprise, I got overheated carrying my 20-pound Claymore that I also dropped. Well, I didn't drop it. The strap broke and stabbed myself.
Wow.
Yeah, it fell off and then like went right into my heel.
Jesus.
So just enough to scrape the skin enough. Not like badly, but bad enough that with the, period shoes that I was wearing made it incredibly uncomfortable. So then I'm super hot, I'm tired, and now my foot hurts. So I did not get to experience the ride on the bus home, which I will try to do that next year, and I think I might leave the Claymore at home.
Yeah.
It gets really heavy.
Yeah. That's a no fooling kind of a sword.
Yeah, I mean, it looks great, but whew.
How long is the claymore?
So mine is, I'm not positive how, quote unquote regulation it is, but mine is a little over 4 feet
Yeah.
from, actually it's probably close to 5 if you go from, no, it's about a little over 4 from tip to the end of the hilt. So
Yeah, 4 foot of sword is that's a lot of weight to carry around.
yeah,
That is nuts.
yeah.
There we go. I'm following Oakenshield on Twitter as well now. So, oh man.
Yeah, and I mean, this is. I mean, and we're not the first ones to do this. Like I said, Lynn was doing this at a smaller scale. Before we got into this game, I not positive it's still open. There was another place called Binary that was in Milwaukee that was doing a similar thing. And there's you have the one that I've known best is Snakes and Lattes up in Canada. I can't remember. The name is slipping now. There's a really big one in Atlanta. So this is a new thing or a new-ish thing where it's that, this is a good fit. I mean, I even when I couldn't drink, there was always food and some kind of beverage when you're playing games. So it just seems to, it's like, the fact that it took this long for anyone to start doing it is kind of surprising to me because it's such a natural fit together.
Thinking about it, yeah, it is kind of, it's the next evolution because when you sit and play a game, and depending, especially if you're doing an RPG, if you're sitting down doing tabletop RPG, which a session, a good session when you get going, probably about somewhere between 4 to 8 hours. Like I'm sure people go longer than that, but at some point you're going to need to eat.
Yeah.
And more often than not, especially with game stores and game shops that do have playing space, they have to, somebody, you leave, you go get food, or you call and have food brought in. But to have a game space, granted, you're not selling the games there, but to have a game space where there's food there, which has the potential of keeping people there longer and, getting more drinks or whatever, that's like the perfect storm for, and I don't want to be crass as saying make money, but at the end of the day, you got to pay the rent, you got to pay the electricity, but you also want people to have a good time and come back. It needs to be unique and it needs to be welcoming. And looking at the pictures that you guys have that are flipping through the carousel on the oakenshield.com oakenshieldpub.com website, it is those things. It is a gorgeous setup.
And the building we're in is really nice. We have a nice big fireplace. This we're in part of what used to be the John Ernst Cafe, which was a German restaurant, and it was the oldest active restaurant in the city of Milwaukee for a long time. It closed, I don't know, about it's at least 10 years ago.
Oh, wow.
But we took over. There was a bar in here called Karma, and we took over from them. And it's, I mean, I'm liking going there. I wish it was a little closer to me, because it's about a 40-minute drive for me down there. But like I said, I'm there every Tuesday. I'm forced to go on Tuesdays for our weekly manager meeting and forced to have lunch. It's horrible.
Oh no!
I have to endure this, and then I'm forced to play role-playing games after.
You poor man.
Yeah.
How do you do it?
It's one of the sacrifices I have to make for my job. Well, and the other thing I didn't mention is that we're all ages until 10 o'clock at night.
Okay.
So, oh my God, there's a picture of me. What is my fat ass doing?
Probably having fun.
I'm explaining something. Oh, I remember that. That was opening night or grand opening night.
Nice.
But yeah, it's all ages until 21, until 10 o'clock, and then it's 21 and older, because that's Wisconsin rules. Is that, you know, because we're a restaurant, but we also serve booze. So after that 10 p.m., no under 21's allowed.
Oh, there's a picture of you on the bus to the.
Is there?
To the Ren Fair. Yep. You're on the left-hand side sitting next to a woman with she's got horns in her as a part of her costume.
That was the weirdest thing. I've never I can't remember her name right now. But when she sat down next to me, it was weird because she had kind of purplish hair.
Yeah.
With the twisty horns, and I'm currently in a D&D game. I had just started running a character, a tiefling, with purple hair and the same horn. So I'm like, it's weird. My D&D character just sat down next to me on a bus at the Ren Fair.
Yeah, I can.
Of course, you can't say it because I'm not going to turn to you. You look like my D&D character. There's no way to say that without sounding kind of weird. So, but yeah, it was just, she sits down. I'm like, all right, this seems like an omen for a good trip. When your D&D character in flesh and blood form sits next to you, it's either a sign of a good thing to come or that you probably have a concussion. So, but the fact that there's a picture of her or of me on the bus with her, I at least know that I probably didn't have a concussion. And up until I stabbed my foot, I had a really good time at the fair.
Jeez. Yikes.
Yeah, I'm too clumsy to have lived this long. I don't know how I've done it.
Living well? I got nothing.
Living well. Please.
You're just lucky. That's what
I guess I must be. So. Oh wait, are you on the Facebook page where there's a picture of me on the bus?
Yes.
That's why I didn't see it. I'm on the pub site. I'm always looking for pictures of me because I don't know why. Just because.
There's no shame in that.
No. It's been a lot of fun so far, and I used to run games at the 42 Lounge for a while. I did some stuff, and then it also didn't help that the parking by 42 Lounge was terrible.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're still downtown. This location's still downtown, but the parking is a lot better where it is now. It's just a better location in general. It's much more accessible. It's like 2 blocks from MSOE, which is the big engineering school, which, if you didn't know, there's a lot of engineering students that are kind of nerdy.
The hell you say?
And geeky. Yeah, it's a pretty good combination right there. So yeah, I'm loving it so far. It seems to be doing well to the best of my knowledge. I don't have, all of the inside information. I just know that it was hopping crazy yesterday. And I know some events, like when we did our Harry Potter trivia, that filled the whole bar, upstairs, downstairs, all of it. My RPG roulette did not happen that Tuesday because there was no space.
Yeah.
Which was fine because at that point I was drawing only one player a week, so it wasn't that big of a loss for that one person if they had shown up that week. But.
Oh wow! It looks like a good time.
Yeah, it really is. I know a bunch of the freaks came when they were down for GlenCon.
Yeah, I bet.
So I know I took Jeff and Kristen there, and a bunch of other people went there. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and we're just coming up soon, and we're introducing some smaller plates of food. So it's not like, because you want to go to the bar and eat and drink and hang out, but you don't always want to drop $25 or $30.
Yeah.
So now we're going to do some smaller plates up there. Here's some $5 and $10 items you can grab instead of grabbing that $15 mega bowl of mac and cheese with bacon jam on it. That'd be the Marauder mac. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
It goes in here.
It goes in the face hole.
Goes in the face hole.
Absolutely. So, so we got a little bit of an overview of what it's about, how it came about, and some future plans. Essentially, would you call it a tapas? You know, basically smaller plates of stuff.
Not right now. I mean, that's what we're hoping to do is just add some smaller plates. So
yeah,
so
what I'm saying is in the future.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. I don't know all the specifics yet. They're still working on that. I know we're still working on starting up brunch on the weekends because in most cities brunch is a thing.
Yeah.
And it's at the end of the day, we are, it is a business. We are trying to make money, and brunch means money. So if you do it right, our cook Eddie he's really good. His soups are freaking phenomenal. So yeah, it's they've got a good core staff, and Lynn, and like I said, she ran founded and ran 42 Lounge for a while. So they've some good experience, some good people at the helm there. So
there we go. Sorry, one of my show notes collapsed here. There we go.
Oh no.
There we go. Okay, so I think we can wrap it up talking about the Oak and Shield, and just let people know that once again, this is not a paid promotion. This is just something that you're a part of, you have insight of, and it is about gaming. It's about having a cool gaming space that has the atmosphere. Looking at the pictures, you mentioned the fireplace. It looks like you traveled to an inn.
Yeah.
And it has that feel of a pub you would go to in a medieval type setting. Of course, everybody's wearing contemporary garb, unless there's a themed night, which they're, like the opening night and some other things. You mentioned the barley wine. There's going to be people probably dressing in Victorian attire. So, I mean, there's some of that involved as well. But people can walk in off the street, not game at all, and just have a meal too. So,
yeah.
But there are games. I noticed that. I want to mention that as well. There are games there to play. There is a game library at Oak and Shield. So if you don't have a game that you have brought, you can go over to the it looked like a fairly sizable shelf system.
I think we have I think about 200 games there right now.
Yeah, just a couple. And you can try out a game maybe you've never played before, or a game that you played a long time ago, and you're like, oh my god, you have that, and you can play that.
There's still the console gaming as well.
Yeah, I noticed that. That looks like a very sweet setup too. So, I mean, it's a combination of console, RPG, board game, and that whole restaurant and bar kind of woven in there with it. So it is awesome. It looks awesome. I have not experienced it yet. As I said, when we get back to Milwaukee, that is going to happen, by God. And hopefully we'll do that with you. We will try to schedule it at a time where you're done with work and we can all go together. That's how I prefer to do that. Spend time with Glenn.
Yeah. And I found the picture of me on the bus, and the look on my face is definitely someone trying to decide, is my D&D kid sitting next to me, or do I have a concussion?
Am I smelling fudge or toast right now? All right. Well, on that note, we're going to wrap things up here. We have a Slack channel. Slack is an app that I have on my phone, but it's also a program that you can download on your PC or your Mac, just your computer in general. Let's not make it overly specific. It is software that you can add to a device of some sort, and you can join our Slack channel, the Galactic Network podcast channel, And you can talk with us in real time. I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's also software that I use for the company that I work for in the web department, and that is how we talk to each other and coordinate things as we go throughout our day. So the quick and easy way to do it is go to gncasts.com/sign up, and we can add you to our Slack team, and you'll have the ability to chit chat with us. We say 24 hours a day because we've got Daryl Johnston, who lives in the UK, who is 6 hours in the future. Not really. He's just 6 hours ahead of us. But he also uses Slack. So somebody from the Galactic Network team is probably on Slack right now, and you could chit-chat with them if you so desire. For more about this podcast, including show notes and other stuff, you can go to gncasts.com/adventure. If you have a question or comment about anything you've heard on this Galactic Network podcast, you can email us at adventure@gncasts.com. You can leave a voicemail or text message at the number 805-328-3966. Again, 805-328-3966. Or you can just go to gncasts.com/contact. We do read, listen to, and appreciate any and all of your feedback. You can also subscribe to this Galactic Netcast. There it is. Finally, the wheels came off. You can also subscribe to this Galactic Network podcast or some of the other shows that we have available by going to gncasts.com/subscribe. You can go to iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, or any other place fine podcasts are offered. And last, but certainly not least, thank you to Mark Wooldridge of Central Battery Music Works, who composed our theme music for the show. As always, Glenn, thank you for chit-chatting with us about games, the game review. Where can people find out more about Mistrunner and the projects that you are working on?
Working on oh my god, we'll be working on stuff. When I'm actually working on stuff, you can find me at Guy in a Bunker Productions on Facebook, along with Mistrunner the RPG, Demon Eater the RPG, Apocalypse Howl the card game, which may or may not ever get made. You can find my movie stuff on YouTube with Guy in a Bunker Productions and the B-Movie Bunker. Follow me on Twitter at Guy in a Bunker, or just check out guyinabunker.com, or come into my store, the Board Game Barrister in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin, and have a chat, or check me out at Oak and Shield and have a pint.
Absolutely. And if you check out the website oakandshieldpub.com, you can check out some of the pictures that they have there, and it looks like a very, very good time that you should check out. So, there you have it. Thank you so much for joining the adventure party. May your characters never die and your adventures always be epic. Thank you, and good night.